How on a day, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the Bird's Eye View today. Reporting live from England, from our colonial capital, from the metropolis, as they used to call it back in the day. From the metropole. Wait, let me lock the door. I don't want noise to enter you. We just abandoned Giselle and another true. Yeah. How on a day today? Yeah, let's go. Welcome to the show. I've had even ready for holiday. This holiday I've been traveling so much. So we did our metropolis. We are in our metro. I'm in London. You know. Chiwe, I'm gonna hit you up. Don't worry. Pretty soon. Let her come in. Adara, I'm doing my live. Please. Oh yeah, take your iPad and go to your room. Your iPad is your room now, ain't it?
I need water.
Take water in the fridge on the counter there. Yeah. So yeah, let's go. So today, I want to quickly touch on a few things, but let me first touch on my own part. First of all, and some things I saw happening yesterday also. I'm not carrying my Che Guevara. Someone is asking me why my Che Guevara poster. I know if you carry that poster come out. I got my, it's permanent on that wall. If I try to remove it, it will tear. So I can't move it. It's on that wall till I want to actually move away from that place, and I'm gonna now try look for a way to remove it and take it to my new house. But not such way I feel remove. Means if I miss the poster, I really do miss it, But yeah, different. Let's just do this. I did London now. I'm not in the home base. I know the HQ. So yeah. So yesterday, a few things. First of all, let me just say that thank you to everybody that came out yesterday to commemorate 2010-2020. I love you too, Adara. Stop distracting me from my show. Yeah. Say won't be money your tea, be ready. Oluwa mi o. The love is too much. It's true. Yeah, so thank everybody, for playing their part and their role. But as I always tell you now, we must now move away from emotions. I see a lot of us are still using emotions. I suppose show that my wife they do. Not say it's not be a real serious guy. I suppose just turn this camera around, show that we person mama day for palo. That's why your daughter do the year word. Okay. We still doing a lot of things with emotions. I believe say a year on from NSAS, we as young people for Nigeria should be more organized than this. Should be more organized than this. There was really no true organization. There was really no true organization in our actions. We are still doing things the way they expect us to do things. Some of my friends even invite me say me I come watch one live yesterday with the macaroni, and Oni of Ife did there. I mean, if we are truly looking for something new, something of our own, something where we the people want control, trust me, we must remove anybody that is tainted by this present system. Not be disrespect, not be say with the talk say the person a bad person. Whether a bad or a good not concern us, but we are saying we want to do something new. How can we now be carrying these people that are involved? I mean, come on. There's Oni of Ife, there's a scandal that he rented houses to people that were not there. Has he sorted that one out yet? And has he given public explanation and apology to the Yoruba nation? For even to we the Yoruba people in general, children of Ududua, as the person sitting on our spiritual throne, that he was even involved in something like that, where people are paying money to his company and didn't see their houses for years, and he's now the owner of FIFA and nobody can do anything to him. You know, all these kind of people, you know, we must, you know, you don't enter APC, you don't run for office there, you are in their ideology. We respect you, we love you. Stay on, you know, if you go over there, stay over there. This is why Nigerians, we can't really do anything and succeed politically, because we allow everybody to play every side. Anybody can play all sides of the fence, sit down here today, keep people today, and donate to charity tomorrow. Everybody will say you're a good person. Sit down with oppressor today, go to party with celebrity tomorrow. You're supposedly a good person. All these things, everybody playing both sides, You know, everybody sitting on the fence. You know, when they need the oppression, when they need to roll with oppressors, they roll with oppressor. It's fine. When they need to roll with the people, they roll with the people. It almost choose a side, pick a side. If you've gone over there, and you have not openly come out to say you have renounced that system, renounced those people, renounced that agenda. You've not done anything like that, but then you still come to the other side again, and people still welcome you. What do we really want? It's as if we as a people, we are looking for our oppressors to like us. We are looking for our oppressors to embrace us. You know, I don't understand that. Your oppressor has already shown you he doesn't like you. Why are you still approaching him? You know, why are you still approaching him? What is your business with him? What has he got to offer you? You know, the people of Nigeria have put them in office. The system has put them in power. What have they done for the people that gave them those things? We can't seek validation from all these kind of people. We don't need their validation. Our validation for what we are doing is our collective experience as the Nigerian people. What we are experiencing collectively, our reality, is our validation. You understand? Whatever it is, the reason that they are giving, you know, we must, okay, fine, keep your event center. We the people will mobilize in a public space, in our own private places. We have private spaces. Why must we look for it? Mobilize in your private space. You know, when they use power to pursue me from my brother's shrine, my sister told me, because the government has written letter, she's not going to let me use the shrine anymore. I said, fine, I understood it. It's her business, and it means a lot to her. I don't expect her to sacrifice it. What did I do immediately? I moved it to my own personal space. I didn't go and meet any oppressor to say, please, let me beg them to let me use, not I moved straight to my own personal space where nobody can come and tell me what to do or not do there. Even though it's smaller. But what I want to do, I will do it. And I'll not let the oppressor tell me the terms, you know, that I will use to express myself. It's impossible. You know. And I saw a lot of people yesterday. So coming to my own topic, you know, generally, we basically we did the same thing we did last year again this year. Pouring on the streets, trying to, you know, protesting is excellent. Protesting is great. We as the people must protest. We must, yes. I feel protest is even for younger people, you know, young people, students in the university, people in their 20s, you know, yeah. But once we are beginning to get to a certain age, we must now be intrigued by organization. It must intrigue us. We must want to discover the best ways to organize. We must be looking to now speak from a place of power. I mean, we are not, there's no way we can make any move as the people if we do not act collectively. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we as the people do not act collectively in such a way, you know what I'm saying? In such a way that we bring everything we have into our own liberation, there's no way we can have the power. The power, because you see, there's power in numbers. There's power in numbers. when some pastors tell you they are not rich because of tithes, what they're trying to tell you is that, you see, the size of their church gives them the power to go to government office and negotiate for oil well in exchange to make sure that those people vote for the government. They will go. Pastors have oil well in Nigeria. Do you think it's because they are a pastor or because of the following that that kind of church has? It is the following that gives them the power to sit down with government and negotiate things for their own personal improvement and businesses. We must learn that. We must understand that. Until we collectivize, put all our efforts together collectively, until we collectively, that's the word, until we collectively, sorry, I did for England, they forget English. Until we collectively come together, and see, when the people collectively come together, it doesn't mean we collectively come together under the same organization. No. Because I also believe that organizations must be ideologically based. So everybody, you don't expect everybody to agree to your ideology. You know, that is totalitarian. And totalitarianism is also tyranny. But we must all at least agree to act for Africa first. As long as we are acting for Africa and African people first, in whatever kind of ideology we have, even if we are capitalists, even if we are capitalists, even if we are capitalists, as long as we say we want to put Africa first in our capitalist endeavors, then we can come together, organize, and let these people see our power. You know, right now, we're not showing them our power, we're just showing them that we have energy. We are showing them our emotion. You know, that's why as we plenty reach for the place, 5 police people just come, jack one person, they slap and they beat and they carry and they go. And we are there, thousands. You understand? It means we have no power. If only 5 police, 6 police can be dragging somebody out of a protest of thousands of people and nothing can happen, there's no power there. You understand? There's just emotion, you know, and we must move to power, ladies and gentlemen. My brothers and sisters, we must move to power. We must be done with this. We must be done with this childish tantrum we throw, and truly move to power. It's important. So that's why when people are saying all over the news, you are putting my name, Shehu should run for Shehu party president. First of all, they say they are going to. Some people were saying they said they are going to join Shehu in MOP. Join Shehu, join Big Bed, join Big Bed. First of all, nobody can join me. Please, you are joining with me. You are not joining me in MOP. You are joining with me in MOP. MOP is for the people. It is not mine. You are not joining me. You understand? You are joining with me. I am joining with you. We are the people. You are joining with me. I am joining with you. You are not joining me. And I'm not joining you. I don't need people to join me. You understand? So, running for public office, I want people to know that what is going on in Nigeria is not because we lack public office holder. It's not because we lack good men and women. What is going on in Nigeria is because politically, is because there are no strong parties. There's no strong ideology. See, what I want to give to the Nigerian people in terms of service is not in public office, but in party politics. And I'll explain it to you. You see, for things to last, it must stand on strong foundation. Things must grow on top of each other, on strong foundation. That's how something lasts well and strong. You understand? This England that I am right now is still an offshoot of the Roman Empire. England is building on the 1,000 years. America is now the center of this their civilization, this their movement that they've been doing since the time of the Romans. You understand what I'm saying to you? So you find that things that will last must be built on strong foundations. That's why Europeans, you know, they have that. Even in their political parties, the Republican Party in America is about 167 years old. Right? The Republican Party. 167 years old. None of the parties that gave Nigeria independence still exist. None. And it's not as if something has grown from them. Nothing has grown from them. They've simply been pushed aside, eradicated, and forgotten. So imagine our country is only 60-something years old. And we have APC and PDP today that didn't exist 5 years ago. We had SDP and NRC that didn't exist 25 years before that, where we had PMPN, this Shagari party, and all these parties that ran, you know, that didn't exist when we had independence 25 years before, in 1960. You know, it's like every 25 years, new political group comes out. You know, and let me tell you something. All the political parties that have existed in Nigeria have come together because men, what brought them together is to come and rob you. You understand? They unite. These men all don't like each other. Tinubu, Saraki, Buhari, Osibanjo, all of them, they don't like themselves. You think Atiku likes Tinubu? Abi you think Buhari likes Atiku? Abi you think Atiku likes Rochas? Abi they don't like themselves. Nobody likes themselves anywhere in those places, but they are unified in their belief that they should oppress and take from you. So they've all come together based on this. The only thing that they are unified about, look at our country, look at it. The only thing that they are unified about is the oppression of Nigerian people. So this is what has brought PDP together. This is what has brought APC together. So APC and PDP can easily move, anybody can move from one party to another, because both parties, that is what brought them together. Let's go and take from these people. They don't really have any ideas to develop the nation. Because if they did, see, 20-something years into this, they've not solved anything for us. Not a single thing, not even the most simple thing like giving people water. You understand? So imagine if this country is actually run by people that came together to build it. So the fact that they have come together to take, that's why they make it seem as if what belongs to everybody belongs to them, because they are in government. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about, we must understand that it's not about the candidates. It's not about who we believe in. There's a system that we must destroy. There's not reform. Destroy. There's a system. Okay, I'm gonna log out and come back. Okay. I'm back. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hey, I'm back. Not be Instagram. Nah, me, I get, anytime we call, enter when I do live. Once I get call, it will shut off my audio. I don't know why that happens. And I don't know who they call me when I do live. You know, they see say I did live. You know, they follow me for Instagram. Magic. It's calling at the wrong time. Okay, let's go on. So there's a system in place that we must destroy. We are not trying to reform this system. We are not trying to perfect it. We are not trying to save it. We want to destroy it. It's the goal, you understand? Because it just be like, you know, when they tell us about, you know, entrepreneurship as a way to save it. I believe in entrepreneurship. Yes, it's good to be entrepreneurial, have ideas and try and make money, do some business. But this one of entrepreneurship cannot save us from this. We need organization, we need political power, we need power. So, because you see, entrepreneurship, you know, it's just like, I always tell people, say the Jews of Europe, on the eve of World War II. On the eve of World War II, the Jews of Europe were the most entrepreneurial people. They are the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, were the Jews of Europe. On the eve, it didn't stop them from being the victims of World War II in Europe. All their money, all the wealth that they had accumulated, all the mad money, gold, everything that the Jews had in Europe, all the businesses that they had, thriving businesses, all the best businesses, did not stop them from being the victims. So after they learned that lesson, now they're moving like their oppressor. They decide to be an oppressor instead of being an oppressor. But that's not what we are trying to do. We are going to end oppression. You understand? Now, let's imagine that we are in a big prison in Nigeria. See, Nigeria, just this huge prison. And some people, they try to tell us, say, this prison where they there, they agree, say the prison they there. But now they advocate, say, these 200 million of us, we inside the prison, you know, we say only like 10,000 of us, they spoil the whole thing. When 9 lockers, now 10,000 people, now they control the prison, where we dey inside. And we be 200 million. You know, they tell us, say, oh, instead of make we face these 10,000 people, make all of us, they try to escape from the prison one by one. You know, if you escape, try escape 5 people. You know, if they say if you escape, try escape 2 people. Sometimes when we escape, they go catch us back, throw us back inside the jail. Sometimes you escape, they catch you back. Sometimes, you know, you just go, they catch you, poverty come back, you go back to the jail. You know, sometimes they deport you, you go back to the jail. Sometimes you lose your job, you go back to the jail. So not because everybody will escape from the jail, they escape from the jail forever. As when they escape, some first they go back. As when they escape, some first they go back. Now, I'm advocating, say instead of us to try to escape, when some people go try to escape, their escape plan no go work. And they say, instead of we could try to escape from the jail, why not destroy the prison? Why don't you just destroy the prison? Because if the prison no exist again, how are they going to jail us? If the prison no escape again, exist again, how they want to take jail us? But instead of us to think like that, they tell us, say, they, you know, so we are thinking of individual, everybody is thinking of their individual issues. Instead of seeing our problem as a collective issue, so we can move collectively. Everybody, they see them as personal issue. Everybody just try to develop personally. You know, and I understand. I even talked to one young guy yesterday when I go Smith bar. And I tell her, say, I understand that poverty is uncomfortable. Poverty is inconvenient. Poverty will let you even think. So many people, they try to get out of poverty by any means necessary. What the mistake here now be say, as they try to comot, that now becomes the end game in itself. Oh, let me just get money and leave this poverty. Leaving poverty cannot be the end game. You understand? When you stop there, you are diminishing your own self. Because once you end poverty for your life, it is now your duty to now go after poverty itself. I mean, not be poverty do you something. See all the things where poverty cause for you. Your number one enemy, poverty, is there still destroying your own family members, your friends, everything. But because you don't escape yourself, you forget about them. Things say no. When we as African people, whatever we do, we must be looking at it in a way that we have a nation to build. If you're a Nigerian person, maybe a Nigerian man, whatever you do, you must put out for your mind. Say, Omo, my nation, they there for me to build. That is what these people are getting wrong. These so-called men will get power for our country. They're getting it wrong. All the money they make from Nigeria, they accidentally, immediately think for their mind that it is their money. They don't think that it is money to develop a nation. They think it is money to develop their generation. Our nation become their... So they see their own personal improvement, their own personal development as our national development. They see our their own personal development. That's why, when they talk about people making money in Nigeria, they will talk about money a person get for Nigeria, as if that shows that Nigeria is working. If farmers are not growing, if you're a farmer in Nigeria, your first job is to grow food to feed Nigerian people. I mean, if the farmer's thinking as a farmer is not that I want to feed my people, what are we allowing people to take land for farming for? People grow food in Nigeria to sell abroad. We never chop for Nigeria. They carry our food, they export. Is it not appropriate, say, first, let Nigerians eat. If we have extra, we sell. If we have space for extra land, we say, but let the people eat. Now, the one they can't even live for us to eat. Many of us cannot afford. Many of us cannot afford. If we are not thinking we have a nation to build, it is because our politicians and our elite do not act like they have a nation to build. So now, if I want to make sure I be president, because people don't understand, I feel this is laziness. When I want to support me for one campaign are like 1 year, and I will support me, we will campaign all over Nigeria, and I can't make me president, and I can't abandon me, Abi. As president, I don't put out, I mean, do work, do miracle. No president of Nigeria can fix Nigeria. Now, I want to give you people a scenario. One that say, they put my name for one kind of year list of people who won't go for president. May nobody put my name for stupid list. I don't want to do president. As I tell them that they go, I'm building MOP. Why? Republican Party 167 years old, APC 20 years old. You understand? Except for South Africa with the ANC. And the ANC today as is, and also the Pan-Africanist, this shirt where they always wear. Oh, I don't forget their name now. Another South African party too. But even though this new ANC is nothing like the ANC that, existed in the early 1900s with the Oliver Tambo and co. But still, an old party over 100 years old. So we respect that. But for all African countries, even for Ghana, Nkrumah's party don't exist again. The CPC. No, not the EFF I talk about. EFF is a new party now. Julius Malema. I support EFF. Julius Malema is for the people, man. His analysis is on point and his actions show that the man is not yet to play. We respect that. There's a lot to learn from the EFF, but I'm not talking about the EFF. Yes, the PAC. the PAC, the Pan-Africanist Congress of South Africa. Yes, the PAC, Pan-Africanist Congress of South Africa. So under party, Democratic Alliance, no, that one I want your Igbo party. You know, the PAC, the Pan-Africanist Alliance, not DA na Democracy Alliance. I believe they call themselves. This one will be white apartheid party. Now they call them. Anyway, so the problem with Nigeria now, weak institutions politically. Our political parties are too weak because they're not really parties. They are not parties that put together policy that they want to follow. They're not bound by their manifesto. They're not bound by their constitution, really. Only when they want to do election for primary, where election they come to choose candidate, then they take their constitution serious. They don't really have any kind of agenda other than the agenda to exploit. That's what join everybody together. So once they join for that place, they're not going to give them a chance to exploit. Then you say they go leave. Because the thing that brought everybody there is exploitation. So if you're not giving my own chance to exploit, I must leave. You know? Yeah, in general, it's true, MPLA, in general, many parties in Southern Africa are quite, you know, they held on to their liberating parties. Maybe not in the spirit of the liberators, but they still exist. So, we in Nigeria, we find, say, in West Africa, East Africa, all these men don't really believe in a strong political party. But you see, now strong political party, now they create strong government. MOP is not a party for power. It's a party for the people. I want the people to become politicized. I don't want to just be following somebody like sheep, like goat, without knowing what you are following, without understanding the nitty-gritty of what is going on. We must understand. If there's no way for us to organize in a way where people will say they won't follow MOP, where they won't join with MOP, if they know, if it is our duty first to politicize the people. You see, because that is the real job. When you politicize the people, when the people know what they are doing, then they will engage with the party. When they create a government, that government no go fit cheat the people, because the people know exactly what is going on. And if you try to cheat them, they will remove those officers. Because a party, as Frantz Fanon says, Frantz Fanon talks, say, a government of the people. To have a government of the people, you must first have a party of the people that politicize the people. Because only a party that politicizes the people can become a government of the people. Because you are there to be held accountable. There's no shortcut. Me, I'm not doing shortcut with you people. If you people want to do your shortcut, do it. I'm here, I'm watching. We will do it. We will see the repercussion. And I will tell you, I will predict it now. I'll predict it now. So that not be saying negotiation will not talk with you. I'll talk exactly the scenario if we try to take shortcuts. So me, I want to build a strong political party. A true representation of the true aspirations of the Pan-Africanists of Africa. And those African people that choose to reclaim what is theirs. Because you don't understand, if you are ashamed of your identity, if you let your identity be fluid and you don't really ground yourself in being African, then that which is African too will not be important to you. That's why we don't take our resources important, we don't take our future important, because it is in Africa. If you don't take Africa important, how can you take the resources of Africa important? How can you take the people of Africa important? And you are part of it. That's the dangerous part. They make you think of the world as if you are standing away You are special. You are looking at everybody. See these Africans. This Africa. I can't wait to leave. Even if you leave the shores of Africa, Africa will follow you to anywhere you are going. And you will still be experiencing the same things. Maybe the degree might be different, but you will experience it. My brothers and sisters. You understand me? So, we must accept first that which is what we are and take it serious. MOP for me must do that work. We the people, see, to be online, that's why I'm talking to you people here. I'm not talking to you people as people that are going to be voting for me. I'm talking to you as soldiers in the Liberation Army. I'm letting all of you here know that if you can afford this data, right, to be listening to this thing in Africa, you are privileged. You are privileged beyond your imagination. If you can sit, you have been sitting there almost an hour. If you can afford that data, you can afford Android phone to be typing. You are privileged in ways you don't even understand. And it is us like this, no matter how small what you think have, that must go and liberate the multitudes. Sekia say one know the kind tea where they drink. Now just ginger and honey. Ginger and honey tea, you know, very good. Ginger is very good for your esophagus area, you know, to clear out all the jack with the patters. Whatever jack with patter has been congealing itself in your esophagus area, you know, ginger and honey does a good job in, you know, scattering them. Let me take another sip. So you are in a race, thinking you are running a personal race. We must not mistake our duty. Our duty is to build a... See, maybe the politicians will come from those people that are suffering the most. Our duty is to be in MOP to make sure that, you know, they follow the agenda, that they know what is going on, that everybody knows what's doing our job to keep the party strong. But who is the best person to fix poor neighborhoods than people that are from those poor neighborhoods? So that is what MOP must be. So for me, this is my own ambition. My ambition is to be the chairman of the party that is truly going to liberate motherland people in Nigeria. I have no intention of running for public office. I don't have interest in running any Nigerian institution. I don't want to be governor. I want to be the chairman. That's my goal. Right now, I'm the pro tem chairman. So I'm not yet the chairman, you know, but until we register fully. And now that brings me to my next point here, you know, registering fully. You know, we at the end of the month, MOP is going to launch our website, our constitution, and the manifesto. We're going to launch it at the end of the month. And then from that point on, the only thing that will be holding us back is our state reps. So this is where sometimes I get heartbroken. You know, so many people interested, so many people following, so many people shouting that they are tired, so many people, but so little people want to actually do the work. So few people want to actually do the work. So many people want to do everything. So many people want to do this. So many people want to do that. Baby girl, I beg, where your lighter? Send it to me, I beg. Thanks. For the work, see, there's no way in this world. There's no way in this world. There's no way in this world that we will liberate Nigeria if we don't do the work. If we're not willing to sacrifice. So MOP Lagos is working well. You know, I've inaugurated in Anambra. We have some kind of structure working there. They're just picking up, you know, but there's a structure on ground. We have in Kaba, in Kogi State. They are working, picking up. But now, to now register the thing, we have our office in Abuja. Members have donated. Is that we need 24 reps out of the 36 states. You need reps in 24. And right now, we only have about 11. We have been looking in the membership, shouting, nobody. So I'm putting it out there to all of you. Please go to @MOP Center on Instagram, and you can find the link there to join our Telegram. And if you are willing to do this work, to do the MOP rep in your state, we need you. Your children unborn need you. The one you've born now, they need you. Africa needs you. Adebo Wale say, look, you for London, you can't get away, you don't know baby girl. No, I know this one, and my wife. I can call my wife baby girl. If she rejects my baby girl is in, oh, there will be, oh. Queen no go sleep for England this night. Now, front of Buckingham Palace, I'll go naked. You know, anyway. So we need this, please. Contact us. Let's start talking. You want to go and buy shoe? Spend my money small. So yeah, this part of the registration process is what is slowing us down. You know, so I'm once again calling people out here saying, please, the MOP needs you. You know, we've only been able to get 11, I think, out of the 24. So we need 13 more. You know, let me pin MOP Center, you know, but I'll lose the topic, oh, but I have to. Let me pin I'm going to pin this thing in the comment, the link to the page. So please, if you want to follow MOP Center, but this is not a call for follow. I need a call for following for Instagram. If I say me, I don't get following. I have people. You are my people. I don't get followers. You take me followers. You know, there's no dehumanizing here. You are my people. You are not my followers. Which one are they follow? You know, so yeah. Follow that link, please. So that we can. This is the work we will need to do. So, now, why am I saying a youth presidency is a fallacy? It's a fallacy because imagine saying you put me, Shehu, as president of Nigeria. And trust me, I'm not even trying to make mouth. Nobody can give all these motherfuckers hell as president like me. Nobody. Oh, nobody. Oh, nobody. Because for me, it's everything. It's political, it's historical, it's cultural, it's futuristic, it's personal, it's everything. So, I mean, I will be hell. Hell. People go, they go run, leave Nigeria. Nigeria will go from 100 million to like 135 million in my first year. Because people go just the jar. Say, but boy, all the police for Nigeria say they feel resign. I tell you, everybody go they resign. Everybody for the civil service go resign. All civil servants resign. Everybody go resign for all federal structure go shut down. Everybody go they resign left, right, and center. Resign. All custom go resign. Everybody, all immigration go resign. Everybody go resign. I tell you. All public officers resign and jar. I'm telling you. But you see, even at that, Imagine if you put a president. We just put Nigerian youth. You can't run from your destiny. You can't run from your destiny. Your destiny is the liberation and development of your nation. Nobody can do it for you. You cannot run. I repeat, you can't run from your destiny. You cannot run from your destiny. Great people of Nigeria, you cannot. It is your duty to develop that nation. You must develop that nation. Chinwe, I know you miss my shows, Chinwe. I am a #1 dancer in London, Chinwe. If I was doing show in London, you will be the first to know. You know that. I'm not doing show. I came here to record. I'm going to call you after the live. I promise. I promise. I arrived yesterday, but today I'll message you today. You know now, me and you in this London. In this London, Chinwe, this London. So now we are caught up in this Messiah syndrome. You know, there's somebody that will save Nigeria. You think it is not all of you that is going to save Nigeria? So now imagine I'm president of Nigeria. You have put me there. Baba Wiri, Shehu himself, president, first citizen, baddest guy, ready to destroy and rebuild, ready to decapitate and recapitate, ready to seek and destroy, and then build and redeploy. Hey, Jojo, imagine me there. What do you think the APC-led Senate and the APC and PDP-led Senate and House of Assembly, what do you think they'll be doing to my presidency? Do you think they'll be supporting my presidency or they'll be sabotaging it? If you leave APC and PDP inside House of Representatives and Senate, what do you think they'll be doing in the Senate against my presidency? Do you think they will be sabotaging it or they will be helping it? How about the 36 governors of all the states? How are they going to react to a presidency like mine, or a president that we put there, our own president? How do you think the 36 governors of PDP and APC are going to react? Do you think they will support that presidency or they will do everything that they can to sabotage it? How about their state assemblies? How about their local government chairmen and LCDAs? What do you think all those chairmen in those places will do to your presidency? Let me tell you, they will make sure that at the end of that first 4 years, things are so hard in Nigeria. Nothing. Well, in fact, we will never in our life think of putting a president again. We will just say, Ashe, we don't know anything. This Baba, they try, or Mama will not even change anything again. See so far. Youth. You're a new president. See what they do. None of them will shout. I swear. They will sabotage. So when you people are looking for president, please make sure you are looking for 774 legislators as well. Because you must take the National Assembly. Make sure you are looking for 36 governors. Because you must take the states. Make sure you are looking for all the assemblymen and all the local government chairmen. Because if you think you're going to put one man in the president and think that Nigeria is going to be fixed, then you are even more stupid than I thought you were. You are even more daft. In fact, you are there for the take. In fact, you are the reason why we are just the way we are. Stop looking for presidents. Let us build platform to take the system away from these people so that we can destroy it and rebuild something for ourselves that we believe in. You want to change the constitution? Change all the senators. Change all the House of Assemblymen. And tell them now that our own people want to change the constitution. We will stop ourselves from changing the constitution. MOP doesn't even want to. MOP will advocate for free governance. If you want to serve, it's free. You can stay. We will build a flat for everybody. You can stay in your own normal house. Don't be somewhere you stay before you enter government. We don't have money for Aso Rock. We will turn Aso Rock to public housing for poor people to stay. All those buildings there, poor people should stay there. People that don't have. I'll stay in my house as chairman of MOP. If president doesn't want to stay in his house, you will find him apartment in Abuja. People will pay for flat. Nigerian government, Nigerian president don't deserve more than flats. Nice 2-bedroom flat. If you get plenty children, 3-bedroom. Abi Kiloshi. Kiloshi. We don't forget salary, which are no allowance, no hospital. Fix the hospital. Anything the hospital need, put it there so you can use it. Do you know that all your politicians in Nigeria, all their children are born abroad? At least 90% of Nigerian politicians' children are all foreigners. So I want you to know that when we fight these people, they will bring out their, they all run to American embassy. This America, they all run to UK embassy first. How can you be a Nigerian politician and your children are foreigners? You man, you get foreign passports. Nigerian politicians with British passports. What are we doing? Which kind of time will they waste? It's as if we don't understand the magnitude of effort that we must put into this thing. We don't see what we don't see the magnitude that we as the people must engage in this country to fix it. All politics is local. Somebody is asking me here, Northerners. If we think we Southerners are better than Northerners, let's start it here in the South. Let's take our Southern states. Let's take our assembly. Let's start here in the South. And then when we are doing it right, they will be seeing what we are doing. They say we won't change. And whether you like it or not, the Northerners, they're already showing their people pepper. No politician in the North can travel by road. They're not born in far away. They can't do public party. They not fit do all those things again. But for whatever reason, the Northerners have shut it down. What are we doing in the South? So forget APC. I mean, forget MOP. Forget MOP. It's not my fault to join MOP, but what are you doing? Don't be asking people coming to my page. You know, the most annoying question people ask me is, how far with MOP? It annoys me so much. The person can say, you know, better for your father. How far with your father? You sit down for your house, they drink tea, they watch Big Brother, they watch Keeping Up with Kardashian, they watch porn for Pornhub. They ask me, how far with MLP? Because I be and you and your MOP. There's no Messiah. Messiah no day. There's no Messiah. So we, as the people, must be the ones by ourselves. We must be the ones ourselves. We must choose to destroy this system. And the way to destroy the system is for us to engage it What are you people afraid of? See, let me tell you, many of these people you are looking up to, that you think they are too engaged in the system. Them and your politicians are 5 and 6 like this. Like this. They'll come to you one day and be telling you, hey, blah, 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 hey, blah, blah, blah. The next day, they are with the politicians. Is it the people you think want to tell you what to do? They want you to stop their $20,000 a week they are collecting? $15,000 a week? Call 3 and I one give you 10, one give you 5, one give you 5, $20,000 to pay for week here. They will be lost tons. You think people are ready to change the system? I don't even want to name names. Yeah, I'm home.
What time are we going?
We'll go to the event at like, we'll leave here like 6. It's 6 to 11, so we'll leave at 6. Do you think those are the people that want the system to change? They love the status quo. I keep telling you. They love the status quo. The status quo means everything to them. The status quo means everything because it is what fits them. They are invested in it. And if you think that you now want to go and meet them to change, they will never agree. Somebody came to tell me, is in the government, we must join this party so that we can go and change it from within. We are changing from within. It has never happened before. In the history, change has always come from without. Change never comes from within the oppressive. Nobody, no, go and look at the history. No oppressor has willingly changed his mind before to stop oppressing. It must be as a reaction to the fact that the people can no longer take it. And that's the fact. That's the fact. That is the fact. You are fighting your own fight. You are enough to fight this fight. This is all I want Nigerian people to learn and know. Nigerian people, you are enough by yourself to fight this fight. Yes, in a way, I always say to people, I am lucky I am Fela's son. That because I am Fela's son, I know the things I know. I understand what I understand because I come from a culture, a family that has a culture of understanding that. You understand? So, yes, I'm lucky to be here knowing what I know. But if I wasn't Fela's son, and for some reason, I now know what I know that I'm telling you like this now, that you two, you now know, I would definitely be doing what I'm doing now like this. There's no change. Cockroach, chicken chop cockroach, swallow cockroach. Cockroach dey inside chicken belly. Because say you won't change the chicken. Answer me. Chicken don't chop cockroach. Put cockroach for belly. The cockroach now did the chicken belly. How the cockroach inside chicken belly say he won't dey change anything? You can't change anything from within. And it's so wait, you want to go and change Tinubu? You want to go and change Atiku? You want to change Buhari? You want to change IBB? You want to change all these bank MDs? You. Where you? Where you want change? You wait till they give change. You wait till they give change. Where you be their boy? Where they give change? Won't change there. Which waiting? So anybody that is telling you to join these politics, to go and change it from within, to be a part, and they are only preaching perfection of oppression. As I'm telling you, the Nigerian professional class only wants a perfection to oppression. They are happy with their private hospital. They are happy with their private school. They are happy with their jeeps on top of bad road. They are happy with it. They just want, more salary from their oga. So they act with the people. If they get more salary now, if Nigerian government now announce increments in salary for all workers, they will tell Nigeria done good. They don't go care say government never build public school. They don't go care say the government no build public hospital. They don't go care say they never repair road. If they increase their money now, everybody go to say Buhari na good man. All Buhari has to do is announce increments in minimum wage. They will never do it though, but imagine. So it's this kind of ideas that they want to bring. You understand? Say, don't worry, we will give you more money. We will not discussing about our own collective improvement. So, youth presidency is a fallacy. And I also tell you before, say there is no such thing, there is no nation where young people they build. Show me a nation built by young people. There is no nation built by young people. The nation is built by the collective experience of the adults, the elders, and the energy of the youth. You see, the collective experiences and knowledge of the adult mixed with the energy of youth. That is what builds a nation. You understand? Now, the building of that nation, people coming together to build that nation, means say there are certain things in government, certain things in society that is built on that the sacred trust, of society, the foundation of society, the thing will hold the fabric of society together, is the trust that the youth must have in their elders. We, the young people, must trust that if we do what the elders say, then not only are we already building our nation, we are also adding to the betterment of our future and our own personal improvement. Go to school. When you finish school, you get a good job. You take care of your family, have a family, and take care of them. Then we go to school, and we come out, and then we don't see the jobs. You see, these are fundamental violations of trust. Fundamental violations of trust. That's why Nigerian youth act the way they act. I tell people, the youth is not the solution. The youth is a reflection of society. If you want to know how your society is, you look at your youth. They are this reflection. They will show you what your society is about. So that fabric, there's no trust. And the elders continue to inspire the youth in negativity. And only pick the youth among us who have accepted them as they are. Accepted their system. Then they pick those ones up to further the system after they've left. So, as I always say, it is very important that we as motherland people, imagine one president, we put a president under 774 Nigerian senators in PDP and APC, 36 state governors in PDP and APC. All this, they will sabotage that presidency. We cannot look for this kind of, this is not the solution. If that's the solution Nigerian people are looking for, then, we will just continue doing what we know is right. And I believe one day, time will tell. And we will understand that it is not only president that we need. We also need 774 parliamentarians. We need 36 state governors. And also we need enough politicians to fill all their assemblies. Also all the local governments and LCDAs. You understand? This is the work that is ahead of us. Not a one-man show. Not a demagoguery competition. Not a, this is the best person to be president. The president is not one person. The president is the collective, is the embodiment of the collective will of the people. The president is an institution. Is an embodiment of our collective will. Just the way Nigeria is a reflection of our collective consciousness. The way Nigeria is today is the level of our consciousness. That is the way Nigeria is. If our consciousness is different, Nigeria will be different. Our nation is our collective consciousness. Our president is our embodiment of the collective will. Because I still know that there's no way anybody here will collect 20 million naira and not have Mopo the next day next to him to be wiping people with Koboko. Listen, we must do the work. So this is what I'm saying. Taking over this system is the first step. But we must not be committed to only taking over this system. We must be committed to bringing the system down. To completely annihilating it, destroying it, ripping it apart from its core. For the last thing I'm going to say today, I will explain what the core of Nigeria is to you again, in case you have forgotten yourselves. I explained to you one day, I read almost for 15 pages from the West and the rest of us. I read it to the people, where I told you about what is going on, how we were colonized, right? And also why slavery was ended. Remember very well, Europeans started to industrialize their countries. It was the industrial age. They no longer needed manual labor from Africa to come and lift heavy things and help them plant their food. They were inventing tractors and pulleys and all these things that they would use already. You understand? So they didn't need us. Now they needed our raw materials to operate these factories. They needed our rubber. They needed our coal. They needed our oil. They needed our cocoa. These things could not even grow in their land. Things like cocoa, coffee, all these things that they need. So they didn't need us to be brought over as slaves anymore. They needed us to work in the mines in Africa to mine our coltan, to mine the gold, to mine the tin, to mine the copper, to mine the columbites. They needed us in Africa to do the manual labor there, because those were the things that they now needed. So they created these nations to help them extract these things using our labor still for free. My brother, how much is 30,000 naira a month? I'm not trying to be arrogant. I can wipe my ass with 30,000 naira every month. I can. I mean, 30K, I'll wipe my ass with it every month and flush it. You should not be paying somebody that kind of money that somebody like me can wipe my ass with. When I'm not Davido. Eh? Let me drink tea. People should be earning the kind of money that will make my heart do bim if I want to wipe it with my ass. At least $4,000 a month. As an African, oil producing state with all the minerals and arable land, all the population that we have, the manpower, Nigerians should be earning nothing less than $3,000 to $4,000 a month minimum wage. That you have a real job, and your government welfare should be nothing less than $2,000 a month, US dollars in value. This is the true value of your existence. But one man will extract 25 billion of it for himself after selling your own limestone to you, using your own land to grow food, and say he's a farmer, he's doing farming, and your cement as his own from your limestone. But you are on zero, can't get anything. I don't have that kind of Davido money, and yet I know I can wipe my ass with 30,000 naira a month. But I cannot wipe my ass with $2,000 a month. Eh? The other one will even kill me. The other one will tie me down and take me to a psychiatric hospital. Baba darati yawiri. Baba darati yawiri. You know. So your duty is to reverse that situation. Nigeria is still doing what the colonialists built it to do with the help of its local collaborators that were helping them before. Many people ruling us today are the same soldier boys that used to flog us on behalf of Oyibo. Don't you understand? When Buhari first joined army, now Oyibo be their commanding officer. I'm reading their history right now. All the yeye things that they did, the book I'm reading while I'm on this trip. So I know the name of their first, I thought that is the yeye name again. The first commanding officer, second, all they were all white men. What was their job? To be beating black people up on behalf of white people. And white people go and they give them the power to rule the country. You know? Oh, let me not even mention the name of devils. Anyway. So what are they doing? It's the same thing. They are extracting our resources for the benefit of the West. Taking our labor to do it for nothing. And you tell me slavery has ended? You know? So what must we Nigerian people do to make sure that the things that are from Nigeria first benefit Nigerian people before anybody else? Is that too much to ask? I say this kind of things and they say Sheun is crazy. Sheun is a mad person. Sheun wants to destroy everything. Sheun doesn't respect anything. Sheun doesn't respect people. Sheun is why must I be nice to people? Why must you even like me? What's my own got to do with it? We are talking of our collective interest. You don't need to like me to listen to that. So we as Nigerian people must demand that everything that is Nigerian must first of all benefit Nigerian people before anybody else. Before anybody else, we as Nigerian people must use Nigeria to benefit ourselves. If that's too much to ask, I'm not saying, you know, we should not export food. We should not export cocoa. But if people are hungry, cocoa should wait. Because we can't eat cocoa. We want to take and do chocolates. We must first of all eat. So do not make you feel as if somebody that is hungry is a failure. He deserves to be hungry. But nobody deserves to be hungry in this world, man. Because somebody that go claim land, say they ain't get land, where ancestors don't put it before they burn out. Because they will claim as soon as their own. We can't grow food. People used to grow food for themselves. Plant anything you like and eat the fruits. We will plant fruit trees all over Nigeria on the streets. Free food for the people. Natural food just growing on the streets. Different fruit trees, man. Mango, oranges, strawberries, grapes. Plant it all over the fucking place. Nature put it there. Let people eat food, man. Walking on the street, you are tasting, you see orange, you pluck it, you eat, man. What's hard there for the people to just sustain themselves, moving on the streets? Free food, free fruits, healthy food, fruits for the people, man. How much will it cost them? No, they must go build orange grove to the ship orange to UK, ship orange to America. Nigerian people don't deserve orange. We won't buy only 10 for how much? 500 naira. Hey, I can poor man, but they pay 30,000, one drink 10 orange for 500. So that's it. We must stop shying away from our destiny. We must stop shying away from our destiny. Which I tell you, we must stop shying away from our destiny. This is our land. Let us use it to develop ourselves. Why must we allow somebody be rich with what is our own and we are suffering? Everybody pause. Let this country help the people of this country. When Oyibo talk of fossil fuel, Nigeria is blessed with fossil fossil is dead things, dead humans, dead trees, dead animals of thousands. Our ancestors, we don't die thousands of years inside ground. Fossil can't turn to crude oil after hundreds of thousands of years in the ground. These are our ancestors, you know, they are drawing them out of the ground, selling them to Igbo, polluting our land, destroying, and we know they benefit nothing. We must think that deep, man. We must see it from all angles. Everything concern us. It concern us. Yes. Because you must be a dummy thinking that it doesn't concern you. Maybe because you are enjoying today. Wait, 100 don't become 200. Voila, wow. Anyway, let me continue what I'm saying. I just continue before I verse. Now, so there we go. Me, I don't buy things. My mother buy everything for house, so I wouldn't even know. Me, I was complaining that 10 is 500 is too much. Actually, 1 is now 200. So 5 is 1,000. Wow. And minimum wage is still. And you see, say labor no protest, labor never strike. Anyway, that kind of wage, they are paying you that kind of money, you know, it's because they want you to be corrupt. How can you be earning 30,000 and not be taking bribe? We must embrace our destiny. Maybe it's MOP Center for MOP, Movement of the People for you. If it is MOP, if it is Movement of the People, please follow at MOP Center to get all the information you need to be a part of, to join with MOP. You know, people they say they join Sheung, I beg you, no join Sheung, no join Sheung. You can join with Sheung in MOP, but nobody can join Sheung. Because me, I'm joining, you are joining with me, I'm joining with you, Ni. You are joining with me, I'm joining with you. You understand? Because that's when we are the people. This is the bridge that we are rebuilding. We that we can afford this data that can be here. We have to rebuild that bridge to the people. Because that bridge has been destroyed by years of neglect. By years of us going to private school while their children cannot go to good schools or cannot even go to school at all. Going to private hospital, selling them out in private hospital, knowing fully well that thousands of children are dying in the public hospitals. Thousands of mothers are dying. Thousands of young people are dying in the hospitals. Every day. As we're on this live now, they are dying there. Because they don't have any good doctors, no good nurses. When they have, they don't even have money to treat themselves. So we think we are special. And we've betrayed them for a long time. So we must understand that if the mob now rises up and starts to destroy everything, you say you're not in government. But did you ever go on strike because their children could not eat? Did you ever go on strike because you have the power as professionals in Nigeria to stop working for these people? They have to give them tests 2 days. That's why once MOP don't move, we'll give them tests. Say, we Nigerian people, we're going to stop working for 2 days. Just to let you know we are unhappy with the way you are treating our brothers and sisters. We are here working for you, you are becoming rich, but you are not doing what you're supposed to do for our people. We're going to sit at home for 2 days first. To let you know that we see the children dying in hospitals. To let you know that we see the poor people being roasted by your tankers on the highway every day. To let you know that we see the state of our roads, how it's causing accidents left, right, and center. To let you know that we see the violence in all the rural areas in Nigeria, and they are killing our poor and stealing their land. Nobody's talking about the land grab that is happening after these terrorists run through a village and pursue everybody to internally displaced camp. Those internally displaced people can no longer go to their old land, even though the bandits are no longer there. It now belongs to somebody else. We have to understand all these things going on to the poor people in this country. And we as the professionals that help these people to run this oppressive nation, when are we going to decide to come on the side of the people? So it's either we are with the people or we are not. Let's not forget that. Because when they rise up, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So let's understand this, and as Motherland people begin to, as I said before, embrace our destiny. Thank you very much for joining me on this, my first version of Bird's Eye View International Edition, live from London. Bye, guys. Don't forget MOP Center. Don't forget on Instagram at MOP Center. You can get all the information for our Facebook. You can get information for our Twitter. You can get all the information.